But let's pretend like Christian did not get the Rinnegan. Let's just say that he got the Tenseigan, but he cannot activate it because he is not experienced enough. Christian says, "This is really." Actually, he doesn't have it yet. He doesn't have it yet. He still only has Ninetales state. That's how he won the fight. That was just a glimpse of the Tenseigan's power. So with this, after the 5, so let's go down to the war arc. The 3 of them will be taken straight to the island. Christian also can use the Tenseigan. He just can't use the thing. He just can't use the chakra mode yet because of his minor Otsutsuki blood. Remember, the Tenseigan is on Rinnegan Sasuke, is literally on the par with Rinnegan Sasuke from Shippuden. Not like adult, but like, you know, younger. But I'm gonna say his Tenseigan isn't on par with that. Only like Toneri's is at that level. So he trains to get QB, to get KCM. And finally, in a jungle, he finally faces his true self and accepts it. Then he fights the QB. Christian says, activates his Tenseigan and starts using attacks. He uses one that slashes the QB in half. Like, into 2 different... Well, cuts him. He goes... Roar! Christian appears in front of him, punching Kurama in the face, knocking him back. He goes... Christian wants to activate the Uzumaki chains, binding him up. And his are like 20 times bigger than like Kushina's. Like they're thicker, they're much bigger, they're much longer, and he wraps around him. These could wrap around the 10 tails. Like, who knows how big they're gonna be when he's an adult. These could dig into the ground in a village. This could protect a village if he puts a barrier through all of them. This could protect the entire village and lift it up. So, he finally defeats Kurama with a massive Rasen Shuriken, going, defeating it. And with this, he'd finally be much stronger. Gavin KCM, but his KCM is blue, like a teal color, because of his Tenseigan. Christian goes, as he's way stronger now. And this is an extra boost along, it's like 6-pass Sage mode. You know, when he's just got the plus eyes, but then he activates QB Chakra. That's like Christian's. And he's also got 9s around his neck, you know, kind of. He heads into war while him and Naruto meet up together. Naruto says, "Hey, why is his ears blue?" Christian says, "Mine's is blue because I have the Tenseigan." As they rush, then they encounter Obito, aka Madara. Naruto and Christian bump into his head. Christian cuts his mask a little bit. Then Christian punches Toby back, but he'd face right through him. Christian would say, "Ah!" and kick Toby back. Because a Tenseigan QB Chakra mode is on par with him. It surpasses Toby. It's on the par with KCM too. Christian says, "Ah!" punching him in the face, breaking his mask. He goes, "Ah!" and it reveals that he's Obito. Christian binds him up with the chains, but his chains are too big, so Obito can easily slip out. Christian says in his head, "Damn it." Christian tells Naruto to deal with him while he takes on the Tailed Beast, because he's made to destroy Tailed Beast. This Kekkei Genkai is made to take down Tailed Beast. He goes, and binds them all up. He goes, but then their Tailed Beast bomb collide with him, and that kills him almost. He falls to the ground. He goes, but then he starts to heal 20 times faster than usual, and he slaps himself a healing tag on his face, so he doesn't get Psyche's toxin poison in his mouth. He goes, Then he says, "Fire style, blue fire, ball jutsu," and a blue fireball comes and claps on Matatabi. Yet Matatabi just absorbs it, because, you know, it's a blue fire cat. Christian says, "Rasengan!" hitting them all, but it doesn't do a lot. He goes flying back, going, "Gah." Then he says, "If I can't bind you all down, I'll bring you to the stratosphere and make you run out of air." He jumps, he floats above them, and his Uzumaki chains dig into the ground where all the tail beasts are standing. Then he goes, And then they glow blue for like their for him adding chakra to him, and then they pull him up. It pulls him straight up. Pulls all the tail beasts up, and he goes. Blood is starting to goop from his stomach. He goes, these tail beasts are so heavy, along with this land. He goes. Then he screams in pain, in agony and pain. He goes. Then the Nine Tails gives him more chakra, so then his Uzumaki chains will stay. He goes, ah! Then he flows up to the sky, going, ah! He brings them up to the stratosphere, then grabs the chains, ripping them off him, but he could just regenerate more, and then they're much bigger. He goes, ah! Throwing them down to the stratosphere, going, shoo! When these tail beasts collide to the ground, it's like a meteor. They all get destroyed. Then Christian would also get their names. Kurama would give him KCM2, and Naruto would also get KCM2. Christian would appear right in front of him. They're both combo-womboing him until Madara arrives and summons the Ten Tails. And all the allied Japanese force arrives. Christian goes, as he goes out of KCM2, and now he's in his base form with his Tensei gun gone. He goes, damn, I'm running out of chakra. Sakura appears behind him. Naruto appears behind him saying, I won't let you die. Then he heals him. He goes, thanks, Naruto. She goes, anytime. He says, no, I need to charge up an attack. We need to get rid of those tails. Christian, every time Naruto is healing him, rips out his chakra. So they turn bigger and bigger. He keeps on ripping them out, so then they turn bigger and bigger until they're big enough to wrap around the Ten Tails multiple times. He goes, duh! He says, stop it, you're gonna make the healing useless. He slaps the healing tag on him, saying, this will help. And also Lady Katsuyu heals him as well, because Tsunade summoned Katsuyu. He goes, here goes nothing, until his chains are finally big enough to wrap around the Ten Tails. He goes, I'm ready, Naruto. She says, do it. But then she says, ah, and activates KCM2. He says, how the hell do you have that? She says, I got my Nine Tails trust. He says, shouldn't you be saying? They both say, Kurama. Naruto would also join, saying, activating KCM2 as well. He says, don't leave me behind. Naruto jumps in, activating KCM2 as well. Christian activates Tenseigan, then activates Nine Tails Chakra mode, turning into KCM2, but it's blue. He goes, he says, the Uzumaki family is ready to attack. They go, yeah. Christian says, ah, and rush towards him, creating a tail beast bomb, shooting it at him. Everyone goes into their full power. She shoots it. Christian shoots a tail beast bomb, hitting the Ten Tails. He goes, ah. They keep on attacking with their forces. But then they all revert out, and out of nowhere, they're all up in the air trying to attack. But then their KCM2 reverts. Then a giant Ten Tails tail comes at all of them. Christian says, Takebushi! And one Shadow Clone kicks Naruto. Christian kicks Naruto, and Naruto being hit by the Ten Tails attack. Naruto and Naruto go, no! But then when he's crashed into the ground, they don't realize something. They sense a giant maximum amount of... They sense tons of chakra. Then the Ten Tails is shifted up in the air. Christian goes, ah! And he's in Tenseigan Chakra mode. Tenseigan Chakra mode. He goes, ah! He goes, as he's lifting him up, and after he's literally lifting up the Ten Tails. Madara is even shocked. Even the first Hokage and second and third Hokage are shocked. He can lift the Ten Tails. He goes, as he crushes into the ground, going, fuck. Then he keeps on crashing and lower into the ground until he's basically like normal, until the Ten Tails. But then when he's right about to fall into the ground, fully and being crushed, he throws the Ten Tails into the sky. He says this is going to create a massive crater. He says, so here goes nothing. And he pulls out a sword, making it glow, and it turns he says, then he creates the Tenseigan sword, that Tonari did to slice the moon in half. He goes, and cuts the thing in half, the 10 tails in half, cutting off all its tails, going, but then the tails regenerate. Christian says, damn it! Then Team 7 will go for their deadlock summoning. 3-way deadlock summoning. Christian says, they did it. Minato is shocked. Christian, Naruto, and Taruto will yell, you think we're done yet? Just because they did their special jutsus don't mean we haven't! Christian bites his finger, saying, summoning jutsu! Giant! He says, Mega Giant Crow! And summons a ginormous crow. Then jumps on it. Naruto creates... Actually, you know what Christian says? You know what, Godzilla exists in this universe. And this is Godzilla Earth, so he's tectonic. He goes, summoning Godzilla! And he's huge. Christian's on top of him saying, get ready! Godzilla instantly shoots. Okay, that's just dumb. No. Christian summons a giant dragon. He goes, then it flies up in the sky. Christian says, let's go! Then he activates KCM2, giving that the KCM2 armor. He starts shooting fire at it. It's because it's a fire-breathing dragon going... Christian says, ah! And then says, I have this jutsu now. Chidori! Then explodes the 10 tails, annihilating all of its cells. But then he's knocked back, and then so is the dragon. He lands down in the tent. Then Team 7 needs a strong attack on him. Christian says, I don't care if this destroys my chains, even though this is the last pair of my chains. I have one more pair of chains. He goes, ah! Chains rush at him, going, and bind around the 10 tails. Hashirama says, Uzumaki chains. He goes, as he's on the ground, while his chains are still wrapped around the 10 tails. Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke go for their strongest attacks on the 10 tails. Everyone can load free fire as Christian's on the ground, knocked out. He says, that was my last. But then the 10 tail shoots an attack at Christian, which obliterates him. And Naruto and basically all of his family burst into tears, sadness that he literally just died in front of them from a 10 tails attack, and they were celebrating too much, and it's all their fault. And he's gone for the entire war until Maru gets 6-pass Sage mode. Then Christian meets someone. The Sage is 6-pass. He tells him that he's going to remove his Tenseigan and give him the Ushio-gun. This gives him insane more power than the Tenseigan ever would. It has the ability to switch through time, and he'll also have a chakra. He'll also be able to combine this with his 9 tails chakra mode. Just his eyes will be spiraling, having rings on his eyes. Christian has it, and then his eyes are orange and have that little effect. But in the middle, there's pluses, accumulating 6-pass Sage mode. Okay, no, he doesn't. He just activates QB Chakra mode, and he says, this is already strong enough to defeat Madara. He says, yes, it is. It actually surpasses Madara. And he also gives him True Seeking Orbs. Christian's allowed to wield them. Well, Naruto and Sasuke are also killed, meaning the Sage is 6-pass. Christian appears in for the battlefield. Someone appears into the battlefield wearing a cloak. He lands and says, and Madara says, who are you? Another weak enemy to be defeated? Christian pulls off the cloak. And he says, doing the signature Gladion pose, going, he says, I thought you died from the 10 tails. He says, you thought I did. Naruto and Kushina say, he's back. But how he died? His body was erased. Christian says, Uchiyama Monokaka, whatever it's called. Then Madara goes for a full one of his strongest attacks and goes to attack him. But then Christian goes,
You're welcome.
Then Madara goes to strike him in the face. Christian's just standing there, not even in not even in KCM 2. He's just standing there ready to get hit by Madara. Naruto says, "No!" Kirsten's about to apparently die, but then then this happens. And catches the fist activating KCM 2, blocking the fish going. Okay, no. Let's go back to that again. So Madara is about to hit him with a punch to the face that's gonna probably end him. But then in his head, Kurama goes. Then Christian catches the fist, and then goes. And absolutely wrecks him. Then he yeets. Then he throws Madara. Then he breaks Madara's hand. Then Madara rushes at him going, Rah! Christian says, Rasengan! Magnet style Rasengan! And then Christian's like going, Rah! You know, like Naruto's stance where Naruto's like kind of hovering over the Raikage going, Rah! Christian goes, ah, and then disappears. Madara says, where did he go? Not even my limbos can trap him. Christian's right in front of him going, Rasengan! Absolutely obliterating Madara.